welcome to Storytime on this 19th day of June. For those who don't know me yet, I am your Storytime reader, Ms Nikki. For today's read aloud, I chose All Different Now. Juneteenth, the first day of freedom. What is Juneteenth, you ask? For those of you who don't know, Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day, is the oldest known holiday that commemorates the end of slavery in the United States. The name Juneteenth is a combination of the words June and 19th. It was on this day, June 19, 1865, that slaves were freed in Texas after the Civil War. I chose this book because this year, 2021, marks the first year Juneteenth will be observed as a state holiday in Massachusetts. Now, to understand the historic significance of this very important day in American history and the reason why we celebrate it, we need to go back in time to the year 1861. In 1861, the northern and southern United States went to war with each other. This is known as the American Civil War and sometimes called the War between the States. The South United States wanted to be its own country, and the northern states did not agree. They wanted to be one country. During the war, the president at the time, Abraham Lincoln, also wanted the United States to be one country. So, on January 1st, 1863, President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, a strategy he used to win the war. He declared that all slaves in the North and South were free. However, as you recall, the southern states wanted to be their own country, so they were not following any of the rules made by the North. The South did not comply with this order and did not free the slaves. It was not until 2 whole years later, on June 19, 1865, when General Gordon Granger and Union soldiers went into Galveston, Texas, with news that the Civil War was over and that the United States will not divide but will remain one country. He also then delivered the news that the 250,000 slaves there were free. The reactions to this profound news ranged from pure shock to immediate joy and celebration. June 19th became a celebration of African American freedom. This is the day African Americans gained their independence. Today, June 19th, is the day we celebrate Black culture and achievement because Black lives matter. Happy Juneteenth. Today's read aloud tells the story of the first Juneteenth, which is the day that the last slaves in Texas found out that they were free. The story is told through the eyes of a young slave girl. This book is not exactly what happened historically on the first June 19th. However, it is an imagination of what the slaves felt on that day. With that being said, let's read and learn more. All Different Now. Juneteenth, the first day of freedom. Written by Angela Johnson and illustrated by E.B. Lewis. A June morning breeze off the port blew the smell of honeysuckle past the fields, across the yard, and into our room to wake us. and nobody knew as we ate a little, talked a little, and headed to the fields as the sun was rising that soon it would be all different. Then we worked and worked and worked some more under the hot Texas sun. Until word spread from the port to town, through the countryside and into the fields, that a Union general had read from a balcony that we were all now and forever free, and things would be all different now. I watched as my Aunt Laura sang as she held her baby. Mr. Jake, who some say was 100, cried quietly, and a group of grown people bowed their heads and whispered things to each other I could not hear. My mama held my hand softly and looked beyond as another breeze blew over and everything fell to a hush. But later, Papa, Mama, the aunts and uncles, and all of my cousins had an afternoon picnic by the water. My baby brother crawled around our blanket as we listened to the sounds of the waves. And as more people joined us, we ate as a free people, laughed as free people, and told stories as free people, on into the night. What was before would be no more. As we walked back home, the cool of the night soothed our tired feet that padded quietly past the shadowy fields of cotton. And in the morning, the smell of honeysuckle will wake me again, beside my sisters and brother, to a time that will be for all of us. All different now. The end. Even though we are done reading this book, I'd like you to continue thinking of what it might have been like for the slaves after they were free. That's a lot to think about. Celebrating June 19th is just as important as the 4th of July and Memorial Day. This holiday is meant to give all Americans a sense of togetherness. You don't have to be African American to join in celebrating the anniversary of the end of slavery. Many people of all skin colors fought tirelessly to end it, and their efforts should not go unnoticed. I encourage you to check out what your town or city is doing to commemorate June 19th. If you would like to learn more about June 19th, the author, the illustrator, or you would like to purchase a copy of this book, please click the links in the description box. I hope you enjoyed learning about June 19th and continue to learn about history that has shaped our nations and our world. Thank you for listening. Please join me soon for another story. Until then, keep asking questions and stay curious.